I have read a few self-help books that will proudly tell you that you are responsible for each of your thoughts, and only if you accept that responsibility and learn how to think positive can you become truly happy. I have heard that there are esotericists who will teach you that you chose your own parents before you were even conceived, and that you are fully responsible for your whole fate. I know a religion whose adherents are proud to say, our Messiah took the Jewish Torah, which is totally legalistic, and radicalized it by making it about your intentions as well as your actions. There are even therapists who will base all their therapy on the idea that some thoughts are just sick, a sign of a larger complex. And coming to think of it, all your thoughts are in some way neurotic or even psychotic, and you can only be cured if you overcome them. All of those systems of ideas are competing against each other in the marketplace of worldviews. So, ironic as it is, it comes as no surprise that they constantly bitch against each other. But they have more in common than that. I want you to do something for me. Just as a little experiment. Just in your head, nothing more, nothing very special. I want you right now to dream up an obsessive thought. If you find some thought that you actually have or had in the past, even better. If you're a guy in your 40s, maybe you might think about your neighbor's daughter who is just slightly above the legal age of consent in your country. And maybe you cannot help having sexual feelings every time you see her. Maybe even more than just feelings. Maybe you fantasize about her when you're alone. Or maybe every time you see that Arab sales clerk at a supermarket, you cannot help but picture him as the next suicide bomber. And it makes you just mad. Especially when you think about 9/11 and how satisfying it would be to have that guy safely tied to a chair, having to listen to you while you are yelling all your anger at him, and possibly even more than that. Whatever it is, I want you to try something for me. I want you right now to focus on the idea that you are completely responsible for these thoughts. It doesn't matter right now whether you actually agree with me or not. For the moment, just for a few minutes, please bear with me and simply act as if you did, okay? After all, you are the one who is creating those thoughts. They are your responsibility and only yours alone, and nobody can help you with that. Those thoughts are sick and evil, and you know it, and still, you can't help them. Having thought like that means that you are subject to God's judgment and sinful. They're a sign that you are deeply neurotic and you desperately have to do something about them. Or do you really think that any healthy human being would have such violent, irrational thoughts? You consciously chose to have those thoughts even before you were born. Having thoughts like that is morally detestable, unhealthy, sinful, evil, and it has to be avoided at all costs. Now, please note how that feels. And please come out of that stupid state. Maybe pause the video for a while, scream around a bit, maybe dance around your chair, just stand up, walk around the room, take a little walk in the cold night, whatever it takes for you just to feel well again, okay? I want you back right here, right now, with me. Now, tell me, this description that I just gave of your thoughts, and that you followed for a moment, do you honestly think That this way of relating to your own thoughts will help you overcome that obsession. Because you know something, I don't think so at all. Okay, so why is that so? Why do I think that Matthew 5:21 to 22 and 5:27 to 30 is such an awfully bad idea? Why do I think that positive thinking has only a very, very limited use? Why do I detest psychoanalysis so much? And why do I not buy into the mind over matter ideology at all? Quite simply, because it contradicts my experience. Mine and the experience of many people I've talked to. Ask yourself, have you ever seen any human being who seems to be able to completely control their thoughts? Well, but we can create positive, healthy habits, which in turn create thoughts, which in turn create behavior, and so on. Well, yes, we can. And that is exactly the catch here. We can have some control over our thoughts and feelings. Takes a lot of time, takes a lot of patience, lots of committed and hard work, and everything that you have achieved in that area is a huge achievement, and you can be very proud of it. Because not everybody is even prepared to go there. Now, all those ideas that I mentioned at the beginning of this video, they all work from a total overestimation of our own abilities in that regard. They actually play on your ego. Thinking that you can have that sort of control is actually rather arrogant, which is especially ironic in the case of Christianity. I think the way of thinking inherent in those ideas is this: okay, we can control some of our thoughts, so why not all of them? Okay, our thoughts determine how we relate to the world, which in turn determines our fate. So you just have to change your thoughts, the rest will follow. You just have to go all the way, and all is good. But this is just a huge overgeneralization. Sorry, tough word. You know, in the real world, we can never go all the way. So, ironically, the idea of full responsibility is the least helpful of all if you want to achieve that kind of responsibility. If you want to achieve freedom from obsessive thoughts, the idea of responsibility does not help you at all. To the contrary.